So we've arrived to the Te Puna o Waifetu Christchurch Art Gallery. So deep underneath this building is an artesian spring, which meant after the earthquake, part of the building actually sunk. What they did to fix it was they raised the building up and actually put base isolation in as well. What base isolation means is that you are separating the base of the building, isolating it from the ground around it. If there was another big earthquake, the ground motion would shake just as normal, but if a building was base isolated, that separates it from the ground motion and allows it to not shake as much. So my side of the shaking would be more like this, very gentle, and your side of the shaking where you're standing now would be more jumpy and jolty depending on the earthquake. So one telltale sign that a building has base isolation is a seismic gap that surrounds the building. So if you look around the art gallery, you'll notice this big trail. This is a seismic gap. So when I say seismic gap, you may not think of this as a gap, but actually underneath here it is. On this side of this is a hinge, and on the other side is a ramp that moves up. So if there is a major earthquake, the building needs to move independently. So this hinge opens up like a lid and ramps up onto here on the surrounding land and allowing this building to move up and down without hitting the surrounding area. Now we're going to go into the ground floor of the art gallery to see the base isolation in the pillars. So after the 2010-2011 earthquakes, when the building was sunk down from liquefaction, they needed to bring it up. But one other thing they thought they would do is, for insurance purposes, they would put base isolation in. So these base isolations on top of the pillars are actually called triple friction pendulum base isolators. All of the base isolation on all of the pillars will allow the building to buffer from the earthquake surrounding it and coming back to the position where it was originally. We're right underneath the seismic gap, which I described earlier on, and up here you can actually see the gap. On the left-hand side, you can actually see the hinge, and on the right-hand side, you can see the ramp. So when the shaking occurs, the hinge will allow the trap to open, and the ramp will allow it to slide onto the surrounding land, making sure that the two pieces do not hit each other in the event of shaking.